So, according to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who is now a presidential aspirant in the ADC opposition coalition, inclusiveness is the essence of democracy, and as such, neither he nor any other aspirant will step down. In a statement issued by his spokesman, Paul Ibe, Atiku stressed that the ADC remains committed to an open, transparent and competitive process for choosing its flag bearer, warning that any call for him to step aside is a betrayal of the Nigerian people and amounts to aiding what he called authoritarian ambitions. He accused President Tinubu of plotting to impose a one-party state on Nigeria, alleging that agents aligned with the presidency are now issuing what he called reckless prescriptions about the ADC's internal affairs, particularly the choice of a presidential candidate. He said that all contenders for the ADC ticket would submit themselves to a national convention, having been assured by the party's leadership of its commitment to an open, transparent and competitive process for selecting its flag bearer. Atiku, though, has some big guns to contend with. Other notable aspirants include Peter Obi and Rotimi Amechi. So how is all this likely to play out? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by Paul Ibe, media advisor and spokesman for the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Good to see you.
Happy New Year, Charles.
And Happy New Year to you. Yeah. So Atiku's argument is essentially that the ADC presidential ticket should be earned and not handed out. Is that right?
Well, Charles, ideally we shouldn't be having this conversation. It's akin to putting the cart before the horse. But we know what is going on. And, the Tinubu-led administration, is all over the place. Rather, they are supposed to be focused on governance, on matters of security, on, the life and the well-being of the people. But they're not doing that. They are dabbling into politics, and even politics, of the opposition parties.
Well, it's not entirely fair to say they're not doing that, because they clearly are doing something. I mean, we hear every day in the news about bandits and terrorists and so on, Islamists being apprehended. They haven't quite got on top of it, but it's not fair to say they're not doing anything.
My reading of the situation, like in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks or thereabout, when, United States happened on the scene, it appears that they have taken the back seat, and they are hoping that some other, country, some other leader, will be able to, do what they are supposed to do. I mean, which is to contain, the terrorist activities, the banditry and the rest of it. There are still killings all over the place.
Yeah, but to be fair, and I'm not in any way downplaying what you're saying, because that has considerable merit. I mean, the focus of this conversation is the statements that you released about former Vice President Atiku Abubakar saying that he is going to run and he's not going to step us down or step aside for anybody, and in fact telling all the other aspirants not to step down for anybody.
Yes.
I mean, that's the main focus.
Yes, I was trying to establish the nexus.
Right, okay.
Yes, between, what is going on, and I said we are not supposed to be having this conversation. The reason being that the focus right now for the ADC is to build the structures, the needed structures. I mean, I've said it repeatedly that a house without pillars, without structures, will collapse. So the leadership of the ADC is mobilizing people right from bottoms up, the wards to local government structures, the state structures. So they are doing that. So what is happening now is that the Tinubu administration, the government, you see clearly. I mean, you're not you didn't happen on Nigeria and all of. You've been in this country last. You saw what happened when His Excellency Peter Obi, formally declared his decision for it. You saw what happened. The Minister of the Aviation, who should be focused on aviation matters, if he did that, I mean, the damage, to the $85 million brand new aircraft of the Air Peace would not have happened. But he is focused on, on politics. If the other gentleman whose job prescription is communication, and if he had done his job, They will not be forging, pictures out of, Paris. So that is a clear what I'm saying. They are not doing their job.
Well, they said they did not forge any picture, that what they did was enhance the picture.
You see, what they are doing is that because they are unable to do their job, I mean, we're paying them with our hard-earned, scarce resources. Because they are not doing their job, we are getting bogged with unnecessary,
right, but let me bring you
conversations.
back to the focus of this interview. I mean, would you say, and because a lot of people seem to think that this is the case, would you say that the ADC is a platform that is currently dominated by Atiku Abubakar? Because, as I said, many in the press and on social media are saying pretty much that.
What do you mean? You're giving, it's as if Atiku Abubakar is a larger, the man is, I don't think he's an elephant.
No.
If you say he's
Well,
dominated.
I certainly don't think he's an elephant.
When you say he's dominated, I don't understand exactly what you mean.
What I mean is that if it doesn't really, I'm not saying that his stature is overwhelming. I'm simply saying, although potentially it could be, but what I'm saying is whether or not he has put his own sort of imprimatur on the ADC to the extent that the party is something that he, as some have suggested, has essentially in his pocket.
That's taking, that's mischief, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it's not mischief,
No,
it's a
it is,
question.
because Atiku Abubakar is just a member of the ADC. Yes, he's a leader, a former vice president. So he's a leader, and he's not one of the leaders. He's not the only leader. There are other leaders, of the party from, different parts of the country. But then it is in the nature of politics. Politics is about engagement. You need to engage. You need to reach out. Is Atiku Abubakar reaching out? Yes, he is. Is he helping to build the needed structures? Yes, he's doing that. And if you don't have structures, you can't win an election. So he's working in concert with other leaders to ensure that the right structures are put in place.
Has there been any discussion between Mr. Atiku and Mr. Obi about any compromise as far as the ticket is concerned? Any discussion at all about yielding the top ticket?
Like I said earlier, having that kind of conversation is putting the cart before the horse.
But you said it's about engagement. That's what politicians do.
I said yes.
Yeah. I mean, they talk to each other, they try to reach compromises, they try to enhance their positions.
Yes, but I can tell you for a fact that what you just said now is not one of the conversations that they have.
So they've never had a conversation between the... I mean, given the fact that Peter Obi at one point was Atiku's running mate.
No, they have not had that conversation as far as the ADC is concerned.
No discussion at all about how what to do about the top ticket?
Like I said, their preoccupation is building, ensuring that they have a robust and alternative platform that can give the APC a run for their money. If they are focused on all of that, it is like trying to share the booty even before the war is over.
But creating a robust platform
yes.
in which they themselves are aspirants automatically implies that they themselves will be trying to strengthen their position as part of that creation of a robust platform in order to give the party a better chance if either of them were to come through as a candidate.
If that platform is not robust enough, their aspirations, their ambition comes to naught. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. If that platform is not robust enough, whatever it is that they aspire to be comes to naught.
But so they still have to have something to offer to the party that makes them saleable as far as the party is concerned.
They have to ensure that they have a very robust platform.
Yeah,
and that's
obviously.
That's what they are working on.
That's one
Any
of
other
the
thing
things.
is a distraction. And who is bringing about this distraction is the Tinubu-led administration.
Well, what is your reaction then to reports that Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso are allegedly working together to challenge Atiku for the ADC ticket, and that former President Olusegun Obasanjo is supporting their alliance? I mean, he's not really Atiku's best friend, is he?
Well, it's in the nature of politics. And every leader, every individual, can chart their own course. And I'm not here to, to validate that, to speak to that, because I'm not even qualified. I don't speak for, His Excellency Peter Obi. Neither do I speak for.
Nobody's asking you to speak for Peter Obi.
Yes.
We're asking you to speak for Atiku Abubakar.
Yes.
And his reaction to that alleged alliance.
It's up to them.
Obviously, it's up to them. It's not up to you.
His Excellency Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso is not a member of the ADC. The last time that we checked,
At least not yet.
he's not a member of the ADC. And so, whatever conversation that they are, I mean, it's certainly not about, ADC. It is something happening, outside of the ADC, structure. So, it's allowed. Because even the party itself is trying to expand his coast. Is reaching out, to individuals and other, other parties, and a lot more people are going to come on board. And so we have not yet seen, the last, and I mean, His Excellency Peter Obi, did a formal declaration in Enugu, the capital, the south, the capital of the, political capital of the southeast, and we expect that also to happen across, other regions, of the country. So, if His Excellency Rabi Musa Kwakwanso, wants to be a member of I believe that he'll be very much welcome, to the ADC.
Right. Well, what about the fact, the reports that the former President Olusegun Obasanjo is supporting their alliance? Because, of course, Obasanjo supported Peter Obi in the last election, the 2023 election. Peter Obi in preference to your preferred candidate, Atiku Abubakar.
It's His Excellency, former President Obasanjo. Is he a member of the ADC?
Well, that's not really the issue, is it?
How can you say it's not an issue? Because the members of the party.
He's a very influential man, and he can pull a lot of strings across various parts of this country, including presumably the ADC.
I'm not taking anything away from his influence.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, and the leadership of the ADC has, they have said it repeatedly, and it's not for me. I mean, that's the job of, Malam Balaji Abdullah, not really my job. They have said it. They're going to have a transparent process. They are going to determine the outcome of their primaries, and not, it's not going to be to external forces, so to say.
And I understand that the leadership of the ADC has ruled out automatic tickets for any aspirant, because at one point that was being discussed in the sort of the public arena. They've opted for a competitive primary. But is there also discussion in the ADC for a consensus-driven selection process, or is the stage effectively set for a potentially intense primary battle among the aspirants?
Charles, if they're going to have such a conversation, you and I will not be involved in it.
No, but your principal would be involved.
But it will not be a matter for, for public, discourse.
No. But
it's going to be within them.
No. The issue of who will become the consensus candidate will not be made public. But the fact that they've decided to opt for a consensus-driven selection process, there's nothing wrong with making that public, is there?
That process, at least from my own understanding, has not commenced. And I believe that whenever it does commence...
It has not commenced?
It has not commenced.
So
and
does that mean that it potentially could?
It will not be for you and I, and it will not be subject to a public discussion. I believe so. It will be internal, to the party. And all of those who, inherited will be involved in that process.
Is it perhaps time... I mean, you've known Mr. Atiku for a very long time. I mean, is it perhaps time for him to focus on mentoring and nurturing successors rather than insisting on running again? I mean, he'll be 80 or 81 by the next election in 2027. And if he fully supports someone who emerges as president, that will be good for his statement's image and his legacy and indeed his ethical track record as the one who helped to bring the crown to the ADC, won't it?
United States President Donald Trump I think will be 80 soon. He's running a government in the US. He's doing a fantastic job. So age has nothing to do with it. And by the way, Atiku has, over the years he's been in politics, He has been mentoring, people, and some of them have been governors, in the Senate, they have been in the House of Reps, and it's a continuous process, that he's doing. I've known him as he's a very passionate person. It's a patriotic person, very committed. I know that the DNA of Nigeria runs in his, through him. His blood. If you probably do blood, analysis, you probably see that the cells in his blood are Nigeria. So that's how committed he is to this country.
He just wants to be president, doesn't he? I mean,
no,
he's driven by this incredible ambition to be president of this country.
No, Sir Charles. You and I know that this country and its people have been served the shortest end of the stick. Tinubu is not what we deserve better than this. And if Atiku Abubakar is, still happening on the scene, it is only because he believes that he has something to contribute. Nobody, no leader has been so prepared to govern like Atiku. And even as we are talking, I know that he's working out, a policy and all of that in concert with other leaders. And that is it. These guys didn't come with anything, just a trial and error thing. And, why must we drag people who don't want to lead every time? Right from the Shagari era, we drag them. And people who want to govern, who want to give back to society, we relegate them, to the background.
Well, Nigerians gave President Buhari a chance. I mean, he tried several times, and the conventional wisdom seems to suggest that Nigerians are disappointed in his time in office.
His Excellency Atiku Abubakar is not, in every material particular, is not former President Muhammad Buhari. I mean, may his soul rest.
Yeah, but why has he failed to convince Nigerians to give him a chance? I mean, he's tried several times.
Well, Charles, the other question, let me turn it around to you. Why are Nigerians crying now on account of the choice that they have made?
Well, that's not.
Why do we keep making the wrong choices?
That's not my question. My question is, why has your principal failed to convince Nigerians? Is it a question of trust, that they just don't trust him?
I don't think it's about trust. You and I, live in this country. We knew what happened in 2019. That election was rigged. We knew what happened in 2023. That election was rigged. So it's not about trusting him. It's about the institutions that are supposed to run the election. And, the former ANEC chairman, has, been rewarded for a job well done. He's now an ambassador, plenipotentiary. Maybe he's going to teach, wherever it is, deploy him to go and teach them how to rig elections.
Well, that's not kosher, is it? Now, some have suggested that Atiku is doing a good job for Mr. Tinubu by insisting on running again, and that this will ensure that the same divisions that led to the opposition losing in 2023, when collectively they could have won easily, will manifest again in 2027. What's your reaction?
This is the narrative of the Tinubu camp.
No, you're saying it's a narrative.
Yes,
the fact is that
it is a narrative.
Peter became third, according to the official figures. Atiku came second, but together they got more than 60-something% of the votes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they've learned their lessons. I believe so. All of the leaders. They are not happy with what is happening. This is a call to national duty. They recognize that. And I don't think it's about anyone's ambition. It's not about the ambition of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, or the ambition of, Governor Mechi, or the ambition of, Mr. Peter Obi. I don't think that's what it is. It's a call to national duty, and they recognize that.
And what does that mean in real terms?
This country.
Because they are not sacrificing anything for any other person.
No, we are the ones. Those of us on the outside. We are the ones, all of these permutations. We are not in them. We don't know what they are, the conversation that they are having away from the camera. And these conversations will not be had or on our
Yeah, but
rights.
you just said that there hasn't been. So there are conversations.
There will always
between
be
them.
conversations.
Because you said earlier that you don't know any. When I asked you whether Peter
Which
Obi
is specific
and
to what you're
Atiku
talking about.
Abubakar were having any conversation.
No, to the specific question that you asked about.
Well,
that particular conversation.
Yeah, the specific question
Yes.
was about whether they are talking there's any discussion at all of relinquishing a ticket or possibly discussing ways of.
Yes, and my response was that they are focused on building formidable structure, without which their individual ambitions comes to naught.
Do you think that between Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar, Atiku will be the choice of the Nigerian masses in preference to Peter Obi?
Well, Peter Obi is a member of the ADC now. Atiku Abubakar is a member of the ADC now. And I think they are both better together.
No, but you know what happened in 2022 was that Peter Obi and Atiku were in the PDP. Peter Obi felt that the position his position had become untenable in the PDP, and he left to another party. And then, rather than both of them working together, he essentially became a challenge to Atiku Abubakar. And that's why I'm asking you that, because all we have is looking back at precedent about potentially what could happen in 2027.
And my response is that both leaders and all of the leaders, those in the ADC, have learned from what happened in 2023.
Yeah, well, that's why I ask you, what does that mean in real terms?
What it means in real terms is that the leaders of that party will determine the direction that they're going to go. Listen, you see...
No, but are you saying that if Peter Obi perceives, and his supporters perceive, that Atiku Abubakar has once again used his whatever considerable leverage he has to predominate in the ADC, and they feel that they haven't been given the best shot that they could have had, that you're saying that the lessons they've learned is that they're just going to swallow it and sit there in the ADC?
What I'm saying is that the ADC is very uncomfortable with a situation where parties external to the elements external to the party will be the ones making all of the permutations, all of the calculations.
Yeah, but that wasn't the case in 2022.
No, but this is the case now.
You're saying...
This is the case now. And you see, listen, let's not prejudge these leaders. Let us not go ahead of them. When we do that, I believe that we're invariably acting the script of the Tinubu camp.
Nobody's acting.
No. Without
knowingly
or unknowingly, we are doing that because that's their preoccupation. And look at when His Excellency Peter Obi made a formal declaration. Minister of Aviation, 3 presidential aides abandoned their assignments. All the talk was about, why this.
Well, I think that's a bit of an exaggeration.
No, it's not.
There's nothing wrong with them reacting to a situation, a political situation that is aimed at posing a threat to them. They have every right to respond to it.
Their primary responsibility, as people that you and I pay tax, and I believe you pay tax, is from the tax that we paid that are going to service all of their needs. This is not politics. It is governance. They have portfolios. They have assignments they're supposed to do. And politics should not take precedence.
Anyway, look, your statement issued, you've said that the APC is targeting the ADC for infiltration, or that perhaps it's already infiltrated with the intention of undermining the party. Are you saying that in order to ward off any attempt to do this by the ruling party, or are you saying they're already doing that? Because if they are, then clearly, and you credit them with some measure of success in that regard, then clearly they've damaged your party, haven't they?
The leadership of the party, the stakeholders of the party, are taking measures to ensure that they don't succeed. In this an unpatriotic, job that they have assigned to themselves.
Yeah, but what evidence is there that they've been doing?
There are things I cannot share, with you, on camera.
Yeah, but I would have thought that if that is the case, your best bet is to bring it out into the light. I mean, have they approached you? Are you aware of people who've been approached, and in what manner were they approached?
You see, every day, the Tinubu camp is working assiduously to ensure that the opposition, when I mean opposition, I'm not talking about just ADC, opposition.
Yeah, but I'm talking about specifically about the ADC.
No, I'm not talking about, ADC as part of the opposition, to decimate it. They don't want an opposition. They don't want an opposition. They don't. They don't want it. It is clear. I mean, let's not overflog this issue.
Well, you could make the argument about perhaps the Labour Party, the PDP, which have both, been severely dented. And, the APC would argue that it's not their fault, that they're simply, fighting each other within the party. But if you made the argument that you're making now, people might see some element of plausibility in your argument.
Okay, let me tell you.
But the ADC does not appear to have, suffered that kind of, if you like, damage yet. And that's why the question is being asked, have they actually infiltrated your party as you allege that they have? Or are you saying that in order to ward off any attempt to do that?
That they have not suffered it does not mean that the APC has not tried, and is still trying. For example, presently as I speak to you, there is a court, there is a suit, and it's supposedly, former lawmakers of the ADC who had gone to court to challenge, the current, leadership. I mean, they're being funded, by the state. They're being funded by our resources, and that's not the only suit. They have had several, suits. All domiciled in the court of Justice Omotosho, and who, from all intents and purposes, is, the judge assigned to ensure that the ADC does not, leave another.
Well, that's not an entirely fair comment to make about the judiciary, is it?
You can make a judge of what is
right. Now, if the primaries, we're almost out of time, if the primaries are held in the ADC, and Atiku loses, what then?
Atiku will submit himself to the process, and that is to support whoever it is that emerges as a candidate of the ADC. That's what it is.
And we'll hold you to that, shall we?
Please do. Bookmark it.
Paul, I want to thank you very much indeed.
Always my pleasure.
Paul Ibe is media advisor and spokesman for the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you so much.